Hey everyone, how you doing? I'm Lazlow, the MST guy, and welcome to the show. Today we're looking at Mystery Science Theater 3000, KTMA number 20, The Last Chase, the 1981 futuristic action film starring the Fall Guys Lee Majors and SST Death Flight's Burgess Meredith.
Wasn't he also in some boxing movie?
I think he might have been. Anyway, the episode begins with Dr. Forster trying to create cold fusion in Dr. Earhart's mouth. It also looks like the guys are on a different set, and it should be also noted that Joel and the bots aren't shown in the opening host segment.
It works! Yes! It's great! The best thing is it tastes like Peach Blow Fizz!
This movie dares to show us things that other movies wouldn't have the balls to show. Behold, Gas Pump! And right away, we're introduced to Lee Majors' character, Franklin Hart.
Is that you?
Saw your car run out of gas, Mr. Hart. I couldn't find more. Honest.
Reg, come on.
What's
what
going
on
on?
with you?
Lee.
We could always get whatever we want.
And we also get a little bit of backstory as well.
Going home was always the hardest part. My wife and my son were among the first to be stricken by the disease.
What disease?
It all happened so suddenly. For a month or so, I had some kind of delayed reaction.
To the wallpaper?
I'd go back home and somehow just expect them to be there.
And apparently there's also an oil shortage.
Like so many other things in our lives, it suddenly became expendable when the oil was shut off.
So, to recap the action so far, Lee Majors ran out of gas, told us about the plague that killed off a good chunk of the population, including his wife and son.
I helped in the emergency field hospitals as much as I could. There were so many people that needed help. At first they came in by the hundreds, and then by the thousands.
Is this movie going to have any actual dialogue, or is the whole thing going to be told with a voiceover?
I'm not sure, Simon, but we can only hope. Next, we find out that the government is spying on him.
He was recorded going into a confiscation yard.
Okay, stop it here.
After that, we find Franklin sitting at home watching an old race when a mysterious message comes across his TV.
California, calling America. Our signal will probably be jammed in less than a minute by bureaucrats who now control this country. We have returned to the land, to the deserts, to the mountains, and to our cities.
Upset with his life, he finally snaps during a speech at a boarding school.
Always guilt. Mountains of the stuff. So we changed all that. We went from oil to nuclear to solar to what we have now, which is mainly a lot of rules. I mean, there's thousands of them. They're growing like mushrooms.
Franklin's mic gets cut off during his rant when we take a break from the movie for a host segment.
First thing we're going to do is number one, always say please and thank you, even if you don't mean it. All
Check.
right?
Roger.
Okay, number two, always remember to call your mom, or in your case, me, every weekend.
Roger.
Got it?
Check.
Number three, never let them see you sweat.
3 things, that's it?
Wow, and you keep complaining that life is a sad vale of tears?
Back at home again, Franklin receives another mysterious message on his TV.
You are not
Alone.
alone.
It turns out this message was from a kid that was in the audience during his little rant speech. And so the kid breaks into Franklin's house.
No, wait, don't hit me.
Who the hell are you?
I'm important to you. I'm the only person who applauded your speech the other day.
Is this thing ever going to pick up?
Yeah, I think it is. I mean, we've established the characters, so I think we're about to see some serious action. Franklin and the kid take off in a race car that Franklin had secretly built in his garage.
You know, the thing goes up and down by itself.
And finally, at 35 minutes into the episode, we're introduced to Burgess Meredith, playing a former jet pilot.
Let's help with the look in your eye.
For the benefit of Mr. Kite.
Two-legged, two-legged blood.
There will be a show
How'd you get in here?
on trampoline.
What is it with MST and Burgess Meredith anyway?
What do you mean, Simon?
He played an aircraft designer in SST Death Flight, and now he's a former jet pilot.
Again, this movie dares to show us things that other movies wouldn't have the balls to show us. Behold, Burgess Meredith flying a kite!
When the Chinese
invented the kite. It was supposed to be a way to get you up closer to the gods. Kind of a space shuttle for the soul.
I should probably also mention that he's an alcoholic.
Hey, you want a belt?
No, I've got
No?
suspenders, thank you.
We.
So, they're driving then, huh?
Yep, they're driving. So the government hires Burgess Meredith to track down our two fugitives.
Perfectly balanced system.
Grrr.
Hard to do two shows with an act like that.
What do you want me to do about it?
But whatever will he use to track them down with?
It's funny you should ask, Simon.
Baby. Baby, what have they done to you?
Yeah, and where's the rubber band?
They get his plane fixed up and he is on the case. Or should I say, chase?
Fuzzy Thurston. Ken Bowman.
The incredible Johnny the Wobbler.
MacArthur Lane.
Minnie Pearl.
Just as things are starting to get good, we break for a host segment.
Day, isn't it, Servo?
Number 1,000 fan club member.
Our 1,000th fan club letter. Put it up on the big screen, Camba. Let's have a look. There's the front of it. It says Destination Unknown. See you where no man has gone before. Very post-punk. Crow, let's have the prize. Did you bring it?
I couldn't find it, Joel. I don't know where the demon dogs are.
Here it is. This is what you won.
Oh!
Demon Dog hat from the opening credits of the show. You see it wear like that. It's a little bit hard on the skull, but
cool.
What do you want for nothing?
As reluctant as Franklin was to take the kid with him, it looks like they're really starting to bond.
Are you cooking tonight?
I did it last night.
I know, but the beans were terrible.
Sorry.
They weren't beans.
The two are having a tender moment when suddenly...
I'm gonna hide in the restroom.
With a bullet in his shoulder, Franklin pulls over to take a rest.
Yeah, I'm all right.
It's a scratch.
Merely a flesh wound.
I don't feel good unless I take a bullet.
We gotta move to lower ground, around the other side of the mountain.
And with that little bit of exposition done, Franklin wakes up in a very strange bed.
Hi.
If she calls him Calvin Klein, I'm walking out now.
Don't worry, Simon, I think we're safe. Besides, you don't have any legs. Ooh, I think I detect a love interest.
I all that crud that gets in the bottom of the toaster.
I've got to know if this is some kind of trick.
I'm not sure I understand.
It seems like they're starting to get a little better acquainted.
What are you doing out here?
Well, we fled the cities and we spent 8 years moving around from place to place out here like gypsies.
Where is Gypsy?
When suddenly they're interrupted by a flyby from Burgess in his jet.
Hope it's one of ours.
It's flown by a horse.
Continue, doesn't he?
Franklin finally comes clean about his past.
I've been drinking.
I lost my nerve.
Mm-hmm.
No one knew it except me. And
No,
maybe
we
the
know it.
drivers.
She's thinking, boy, I'd rather be doing
So
something
when I
else.
buried that car in my garage, in a way, I was glad.
Mm-hmm.
And with that out of the way, they have a party.
Now lasso her and tie her to a chair.
Grandpa wants to bust some heads.
This one's from a guy named Bobby Hodges, and put it up on the big screen, Cambot. And Servo, why don't you read this?
I love this one. Hi, Joel. I liked Tom Servo because when Tom said, "City on fire," I like when Joel hit Servo in the head.
Yeah.
One of my favorite moments, too.
Anyway, Bobby, we can do the head thing again for you here.
Oh!
Oh, we got movie stuff!
So Franklin and the kid have been hiding out at this little village in the woods when the military tracks them down and they attack.
He's trying to bring the band back together.
He carves the pumpkins, then he arrests them.
Grandpa takes the bullet.
So Franklin and the kid do the only sane thing that they can do.
Just me and the boy.
More driving?
Yep.
Mountains?
They could hide in Chris Makepeace's hair.
The two are taking a potty break when they spot the plane coming down the highway towards them.
Jack bearing down on us. Frank?
That's not how you fly a plane.
How do you...
Yeah, car against plane. Genius plan there, Franklin.
Make speed.
220! 230!
The two speed towards each other when... Wow, that was kind of a letdown.
Jeez, overreact much?
I wouldn't hurt you, kid. I've been bluffing you. It's a big game, don't you know that? Huh? Atta boy. Hey, you guys are pretty good. Hell.
Aw, they're talking to each other.
Art, fun's over. Those jokers have activated a laser up ahead.
With the car nearing the government attack laser, Burgess tries to warn them of the impending danger.
You hear me? Art?
With his radio jammed by the government, he has no other options, so Burgess takes matters into his own hands.
Uh-oh.
Okay, boys. I'll have to stop you my way.
He sacrifices himself to save Franklin and the kid.
What the?
It changed into a different plane.
Changed into newsreel footage. That's what happens when you get hit by a laser?
Yep.
And the two stop to investigate the wreckage.
They're not gonna find him alive like they did in SST Death Flight, are they?
No, but they do find his bottle of booze.
The only thing that didn't break
Was his little nippy bottle.
Would he get a DWI for that?
Then they drive into California.
They have arrived at the California border unharmed. The old racing car drove out of the desert at 3 o'clock this afternoon and was greeted by the people of the border towns.
I think this pretty much sums up the movie.
Have any of you thought what this would mean? A car on the loose. A symbol.
Scraping off the underside of a Chevy.
Sent us back to the 1980s.
Buying beach clothes.
At least he didn't insult anteaters.
Here.
Back on the bridge of the Satellite of Love, Joel and the bots wrap up the episode.
Commander Paul, who had a kids show on Saturday morning. It was really bland. I mean, all he did was show cartoons and tell you the temperature outside. Although once in a while he had a lady from the zoo come over and talk about snakes, or maybe a library person who would talk about books.
This concludes Mystery Science Theater 3000, KTMA number 20, The Last Chase. Not the worst movie in the world, just it's kind of a blah movie. Decent acting, though I may be a little biased, having grown up a huge fan of Lee Majors from when he was in The Fall Guy. Now, Martin Burke, the director of The Last Chase, actually went on to help write Top Secret, which is one of my favorite comedies from the 80s. Despite the bland movie, I actually found this episode pretty entertaining, though I wouldn't really rank it the best of the KTMA season. Now, in my next episode, I'll be looking at Mystery Science Theater 3000, KTMA number 21, Legend of the Dinosaurs, a Japanese film from the 70s, and more importantly, it's the last episode of the KTMA season. Can you believe it? If you have any questions or comments, you can email me at lazlowmstguy@gmail.com or head over to lateoffproductions.com and check out some of our other shows. Make sure you check out my Facebook page too. There's some great behind-the-scenes pictures on there. So until next time, I'm Lazlow, the MST guy, and I'm your host for all things Mystery Science Theater 3000.
Can we go to Subway now? I'm starving.
Yeah. Come on, Simon, let's go. See you, everybody.